we're going to talk about another matchup, Jason. So tell me, what matchup are we talking about next?
Matchup, I guess Tony Romo versus Dak Prescott. That's the transition we're going to go with. So the question is, will Tony Romo get his job back? And the true answer, or the answer that should be the case without any question of a doubt, without even hesitation, is 1,000% yes.
Yeah.
The reasons for that, you'd have to be so short-minded to think and have such a short memory to think that Dak Prescott currently still deserves the starting job as the Cowboys. Now, I get the argument against it. It's a long rap sheet. Pretend there's a long, this is a rap sheet, and it's got a bunch of things against Tony Romo. Injury history, obviously a concern. His ability to lead, which is a media-driven narrative, should not be on that list, but it is according to some pundits and analysts. However, Colin Cowherd believes that it has nothing to do really with Tony Romo's deservingness of getting the job back, as it is his team. I'm going to point out something. How many times has Dak Prescott and Jason Garrett got on a plane to go to Duke University and watch basketball games together? Or how many times has Dak Prescott and head coach Jason Garrett of the Cowboys gone to family? They haven't. Tony Romo and Jason Garrett are actually very close, it seems like. However, Jerry Jones is the owner of this franchise, and Colin Cowherd believes that that might be the deciding factor. Here's his audio from his podcast and the Herd on Fox Sports 1.
Jerry Jones isn't a football guy. He's a business guy. And Dak Prescott, if Jerry was sitting on that Shark Tank panel and Dak Prescott came up and said, I'm a business, Dak Prescott's the future. I don't think he's as good as Tony Romo. I don't think he'll ever be as good as Tony Romo. But if you don't think Jerry Jones is simply from a business standpoint thinking about Dak as the future of the Cowboys, of course he is. I think to some level he's emotionally moved on from Tony Romo. And I don't think Dak's ever going to be as good as Tony Romo.
He has enough, and Cowherd has enough evidence to prove that it's going to be tough to be better than Tony Romo, definitely statistically, definitely given their record. Now, when push comes to shove, Jerry Jones really does have a lot of say over the Cowboys, not just as being the owner of the team, but as being a celebrity owner of a team. There's almost nobody in the NFL as front and center in terms of ownership than Jerry Jones. I find this to be the easiest decision in the world. Tony Romo's back is good. You make him play. It's his team. Two reasons. Money. He's getting paid a lot of money, as Drew Bledsoe, as NFL.com was pointing out earlier this week. A lot of money to be sitting on the sideline for a rookie quarterback. And also, Tony Romo has done a damn good job of getting the Cowboys to the playoffs time and time again. And unfortunately, because we don't know what a catch is in the NFL, Des Bryant's case, not once, not twice, I think 3 times at this point, has deterred them from making it to NFC Championship games. And a lot of that also relies on the defense. It's like the same, to me, this is the same argument as saying, oh, Aaron Rodgers went down, but we're going to throw in a rookie quarterback, and they're winning. We should keep Aaron Rodgers on the bench at the end of the year because this guy's the future. And Aaron Rodgers had a rough 2 games to start the season.
I think that we don't have anywhere near the same sample size as what we have with Tony Romo. We have a guy starting the season pretty well, rookie quarterback who's doing a good job with that team. But as is statistically proven, the Dallas Cowboys are a better team with Tony Romo at the helm. So what this shows to me is that it's actually a little bit of pressure off of the team collectively, because notoriously people will laugh when Tony Romo goes down because they're like, oh, Cowboys, they suck without Tony Romo. They are disastrous. Statistically, they don't know how to play as well as they do with Tony Romo and the team when he's out. But now they have a different outlook. They have someone that kind of takes the pressure off of the idea that Tony Romo, if, as we've seen in the history, goes down with an injury, we have someone who can step in, run an offense that can work for us and we can win games. We're no longer crucified if Tony Romo goes down. Like, so why is this suddenly being turned into an against? Yeah, it's a position that we know you got to have one man front and center. Like, it's the same. You're going to tell me that because Jacoby Brissett is playing pretty good at the moment when Tom Brady comes back, and I know Tom Brady's in a different league, but just imagine that same concept being thrown around at the Patriots. Tom Brady comes back, Jacoby Brissett, even Jimmy Garoppolo, if he continued the way he was playing at the start of the season, phenomenally well. Oh, well, is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be the person to lead them this year? Because last year, they never made it to the Super Bowl. Maybe they need something a little freshen up. No, you have a franchise player and a quarterback simply because that player knows people inside out. He knows the team inside out. He knows his receivers. He knows what works best for them. Just because the guy comes back and another person is something new, fresh, and shiny, it doesn't mean that that's going to suddenly click any better than what Tony Romo has done for that team. You can't argue with the facts there. Like, if Tony Romo comes back, gets injured on his first game back, you're all of a sudden back to it. And you're like, all right, this is just happening far too often. Far too many times this guy's going out. We need to think for the future. And you are thinking for the future. He's getting matured along with this. Yeah, he's getting time to show it.
You've gotten into the best possible situation as a franchise in the first place is, oh no, our star quarterback's out injured, but we found a competent replacement for right now that can still keep us in contention for the playoffs. And given how the Giants, Redskins, and the Eagles look good, but the Giants and Redskins play, you're always in contention for the playoffs in the NFC East. It's a crapshoot of a division year in and year out based on how that division continuously beats the living crap out of each other. But again, when it comes down, this is the situation you want to be in as a franchise. However, and I get it, it's shiny and new. Dak Prescott is this new toy that has been unleashed and Ezekiel Elliott's a new rookie that has obviously looked as good as Prescott has in his first few games, and you can put anybody behind that offensive line. That's the beauty of it too for the Cowboys. It's their defense that's the biggest worry for that entire team and that organization. And the reason why I want to come back to the first point being is it's not Tony Romo's fault that the Cowboys lost those playoff games. It was the defense. Yeah. Tony Romo has put his team in positions to win time and time and time again. It was the defense, it was the coaching, it was other elements of that organization that had nothing to do with the offense. It was the reffing. Yeah. Had nothing to do with the offense that has led this conversation to be thrown out into the media of Dak Prescott should get his job back. Should be the starting quarterback for the entire season, even if Romo's back. Now, again, it falls back on the idea of keep Tony Romo. If he does get injured again, maybe that conversation changes, and then you might have to just hand over the keys to Dak Prescott. But as of right now, the somewhat fragile Tony Romo, when he returns, hopefully by week 10, 11, 12, depending on how much his back heals up, protect the guy, because he's going to put you in the best chance. He's going to put you in the best situation to win. The funny thing I wanted to mention, though, is because you said Jimmy Garoppolo, and I'm a believer, I think at this point, that you're going to want to let – Tom Brady says he wants to play till he's like 45 years old. You're going to want to let Tom Brady walk, not the end of this year, the end of his contract, the end of next season, and hand the keys over to Jimmy Garoppolo. You don't want Jimmy Garoppolo to walk. I know you can put any quarterback into that system, like Jacoby Brissett, and it works out okay. But Garoppolo actually looked like somebody who can run the offense similar to Tom Brady. Not saying he's Tom Brady, but in 2 years, let Brady walk. If he wants to play to 45, let him play elsewhere. And the Patriots fans go crazy because they go, there is no way our Tom Brady would do it. Really? Did Joe Montana left? Brett Favre left? Peyton Manning left? Better bet if Brady wants to play, he'd leave.
But what about now that we've got Jacoby Brissett now? He's going to be the next. Is Jimmy Garoppolo going to get his job as a second string back?
Yes.
Now that Jacoby Brissett's
goes down with another AC joint injury, Ja'Cory Palmer-Brissett, Ja'Cory's our director, is going to play first string quarterback.
Are any of them going to get their job back if Julian Edelman proves that he is a quarterback that we've all been wanting to see? That's what we're going to see.
Yeah, I'm in Tony Romo's camp, and I'm a Giants fan.
Do you hate each other?
The Giants and Cowboys. My dad used to say growing up, he said, if the Giants won 2 games a year, if they went 2-14, but those 2 wins came against the Cowboys, what a season, we did it! Wrap it up by Thanksgiving, don't have to watch football for the rest of the season.